All right, so today we have a client who actually dropped this Dell Inspiron 3511, I believe. Is it 3511? It is a 3511. 3511. So he dropped this laptop, and as you can see here, well, one, it's doing updates. Never ever turn off your computer while doing updates. That can actually corrupt your operating system. Quick tip. But if you guys can see there, and I don't know if you guys see how that hinge is coming apart and basically, completely tearing apart from the actual screen assembly. So that's what we're going to be repairing today. So first things first, unfortunately, I'm going to have to turn off the computer, even though it's doing an update. But I'm going to be doing it by actually disconnecting the battery, as that is kind of a need in order to proceed with the repair. So just going to go ahead and use our handy dandy iFixit tool, not sponsored. I mean, heck, this is my first video on this channel, so I'm a long way from getting sponsored by them. But hey, this is actually something I enjoy doing. This is something fun, and I don't actually think that these screws pop off. So we're going to keep. Oh, there it is. There's one. Cool. Now we'll put it up here. Let's see this one. Nope, that's just staying there. Okay. I believe these corner ones. Oh, there's the corner popping up. Let's go ahead and take care of this over here. But essentially, there's a couple of things that we got to watch out for. And the very first one is going to be any damage to the actual chassis of this laptop. So if I take this apart and I notice that, the screw holders in the chassis, if those are actually cracked or damaged, right, then me taking this apart and, getting it repaired will not be recommended, because essentially those screw holes are broken. So that's what we're about to find out. If they are broken, then he would require a completely new chassis, and we'd have to swap over all of the guts over to a new chassis. That way, that plastic screw holders are not broken and they actually hold firmly. So let's get this going. We're actually almost done taking it apart here. Let's see here. Oh, I wonder why these screws. Probably because of all the damage to the hinges here. Let me get my other tool. Let's see here. We'll use this bad boy. So there we go. So let's find out here. But yeah, so first thing you guys always want to do with any sort of laptop repair or computer repair in general, whether it be desktop, laptop, phones, any sort of electronic repair, you always want to pull the battery, basically not pull it, but disconnect the battery. There's just a lot of risk associated with keeping it on there. And while it may not happen all the time, I've actually seen it happen in person. So I can tell you that it's a very scary experience when you just have random, battery kind of, not necessarily exploding, but causing a giant, like electrostatic discharge on the board, which can actually fry it. So let's see here. Will we be able to lift this up? Yes, we are. Perfect. Let me put this to the side. All right, so battery is located right here on the bottom. So let's go ahead and so we're going to completely unscrew this here. Let's go ahead and unplug it. Boom. Oh, it's actually one more on this side right here, right underneath this ribbon cable. Be careful whenever you guys are taking screws or putting your screwdriver in the near the battery and near ribbon cables. Just the slightest little hiccup will cause it to will cause damage to it. So let's see here. I believe, oh, one more over here. Look at that. Look at that. 3. So that should be 3 for the battery. Then we can safely put this to the side. Let's get this going here. So Wi-Fi, Cool, so the Wi-Fi actually has to be disconnected here. So we're gonna, that's running, that's audio, cool. So let's go ahead and put this to the side. Whoop, let's keep it together. Keep it together. Come on now. What the heck? All right, cool. I mean, I guess it don't matter. I'm just gonna put it right here. There's gonna be for Wi-Fi right there. And then we're gonna go ahead and, actually I don't even need to take this apart, but just to be safe. Cool. So we gotta undo it from here because this is actually tied to the LCD display assembly up here. So let's do this. We're gonna gently take it out. Oh, this is the speakers. Cool, all right. So then we got that right there. Come on, little guy. Boom, one's out and two out. Okay, perfect. So now these should be the hinges right here, and they are. We're gonna completely unscrew these. These are gonna be hinges there. Perfect. Okay, then we're gonna do the same thing on this other side. So I'm just gonna put the hinge screws together. Oh, there's my screw over here. Cool. And this should be able to come up as well. So then, let's see here. There we go. This right here is for the charger. So then this should be it. That's to the display. Okay. And sometimes you run into random issues. Oh, you can see that right there. Look at that hinge. Completely busted up, man. There we go. That's probably why we're having some issues taking it apart here. Oh, we got one off on one side. Beautiful, beautiful. And we got both. Okay. So for the meantime, I'm going to set this to the side. I'm going to, so the good news is there's no damage on the actual board for the holes due to the drop. So I'm going to put this somewhere safe. Probably with the battery, but we'll leave the battery right there for now. Just for 1 second here. Let's see. Okay, perfect. So now, let me go put this battery away over here. Okay, so now we can see the actual full damage to this display here. As you can see, this hinge is basically just coming off completely. And that's because it, oh, I see what happened here. Let's see. Yeah, I see. So it basically tore the screws. I don't know if you guys can see that, and I'll take it out here in a second, but it essentially tore the screws from the screw holes. See that? Can you guys see that? Whoop. Let's see if this is repairable or not. To be honest with you, I'll have to check real quick. Give me 1 second. Okay, we got that one hinge. This can go here. So the problem weren't the hinges. The problem is that it completely came apart from the bezel, which I believe we have a bezel replacement here anyways, and top cover. So that's really good. So for now, let me start taking this apart here, guys. So first thing, typically some of these Dells, they have some white or gray or whatever colored stick plastic on the top right and top left side of the screens. Let's see if that's the case here. But first, before we do that, I'm gonna try to pop this open here. There we go. We gotta be very careful with the Wi-Fi, that way we don't damage any of those. And also the LCD cable here, we gotta be careful with that. Okay. And so essentially, you gotta be very careful here because you don't want to damage the actual screen itself. But yeah, typically, so in this case, this was actually a good thing because this client actually already purchased a top cover and you know, screen bezel replacement along with new hinges. So that's good. I think I'm gonna keep the OEM hinges on there. I believe these are fine. Oh, actually, you know what? No. Well, we might keep them. These are OEM. So I might actually just keep these. I'll unscrew these screws and then that should actually do it. So I'm a huge proponent of getting, you know, if you can save the OEM parts, do it. Typically they're a little bit higher quality. That's not to say, you know, hinges are, you know, mass produced by other companies. So it shouldn't be a problem, but hey, we'll see. I might just do brand new hinges. So let's go ahead and take this apart here. Okay, and actually before I do that, give me 1 second here. Alrighty, let's get it going, y'all. So in here, it looks like they covered up the camera. Oh, JK, that comes with it. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and continue with this tear down here, fellas. Sorry for that slight delay there. So let's get this going. Let's see here. There we go. Those clicks are good. Boom. I love the good clicks. Don't get me wrong, fellas. There's some really bad clicks out there. So just make sure you know your good clicks from your bad clicks when taking apart computers, because you know sometimes it's not good. Okay, there's the camera assembly. Okay, camera assembly. Let's go ahead and get it going. Okay, that's another good click right there. Let's just take your time with it. You're not in a rush. Always make sure you take your time with repair, because when you rush, that's when you tend to have a lot of problems. So, and if you get frustrated, that's another thing that can make other problems occur. So if something isn't working the way you want it to, or isn't coming apart the way you want it to, always double check your work, because a great person once told me, if it doesn't come off as easily as you'd like it to, chances are there's something holding it down, whether it be a clip, whether it be tape. For example, in this case, it's double-sided tape. I'm not sure if this is one of those models that does have double-sided tape. We're about to find out here shortly. But with some of these screen repairs or you know, bezel and top cover replacements, some of these screens do have that double-sided tape. So if you don't actually pull that off, you're gonna crack the screen. Same thing with, you know, look at that. Boom. Just slowly but surely, fellas. Slowly. Boom. And we got the top cover off now. See that? Easy as pie, hopefully. We're about to find out here. So this is the board. Okay, I'm going to keep that like so. Okay, there we go, there we go, there we go. So now, like I was saying, you always got to double check that you are not missing anything, because if there is any sort of tape or anything like that holding this down, it will cause problems. Always be extra careful with it. And let's get this going. But as you can see, look, this is where the damage occurred on these hinges here. Down here, you see those 3 holes right there? Yeah, that actually got torn off completely with the hinges. So whenever this got dropped, the impact caused it to just completely break the plastic off in there. So all we have to do in this case is take apart this screen. All right, let's see. Okay, let me I'm gonna find out. Let me find out if this is in fact. All right, yes, this is one of those models that actually have the tape. Let me see if you guys, I don't know if you guys can see a little, you may not be able to, there's a little clear tab there. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try to get that off of there. And there's tape on both sides actually, yep. So then we're going to wiggle our way in here. This is very similar to, if you've ever done iPhone repair, very similar to how you have to pull the tapes off the battery. We're going to, oh, there it goes. Boom, we got our first tab out. To do that. And what you want to do is you want to twist and turn and pull. Twist and pull. And the worst thing that can possibly happen is if this tears on you. That really sucks. We're just gonna take our time, twist and pull. And that sound is amazing. And as you can see, we're finally seeing our screen come up over here. So always got to check for that type of tape, because believe it or not, a lot of these newer computer models are coming out with this type. And I believe we got it all. Beautiful. So let's go ahead and on to the next one. Got a big old ball of sticky stuff. Look at that. Yeah. So on to the other side of the screen itself. Here's tab number 2. And now we just do the same thing. Beautiful. Beautiful, look at that. And now my tweezers don't want to come out. And we got it. All right, cool. Now we should be able to actually take apart the rest right here. Well, not really take apart. Now we should be able to gently lift. And keep in mind, you always want to gently lift, because we need to take this right here. You see this giant cable going around here? Same thing with the Wi-Fi. We're gonna have to gently go around there, okay? So I'm gonna begin doing that. There we go. Always be careful with the screen. That should be good there. There we go. I just needed to get that little piece there. Okay. Okay, is there a screw for the camera? I don't believe there is. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna gently lift it up. That way we don't cause any damage. Wiggle slowly. That way we don't crack that camera there. And we've gotten. So now we got it apart. Now we can actually, put it into the new enclosure, the new top cover. But before we do that, I believe we have to take this Wi-Fi out. But let's double check that real quick. Let me actually also get the new screen, not screen replacement, but the new top cover replacement going. Give me 1 second. And we got our entirely new back cover, which is what we're going to be needing here. So after I take that Wi-Fi cable, the Wi-Fi itself, out of this case, we will proceed with basically swapping everything over to the new top cover and bezel and hinges. So this is perfect. So let's go ahead and get this started. Again, you always want to be gentle. And as you can see here, this might actually be a little tricky. I'm starting to read. Yeah, so black and white cable, which we then are going to, so the black cable gets routed to the left side of the cover. The right one gets routed to the right side of the cover. And so we basically just gotta, undo this slowly but surely. Worst case scenario, we have some blue tape that we can put on there. But usually these are pretty good. They stick back on there pretty nicely. And I just keep getting it stuck on me, of course. There we go, perfect. Okay, we're gonna keep going here. Here's another little black one right here. Little black tape. Okay. Okay, that is the actual Wi-Fi right here, antenna. Gotta be very careful here. Okay. We'll keep that there together. Now we're gonna do what seems to be the Bluetooth cable. Okay, now we're gonna set this aside gently. Cool. So now we have completely taken the screen and wireless and Bluetooth chip cables off of this this first bad top cover. Okay, now we're going to basically do everything we just did, but backwards, fellas. So here is the new chassis. Okay, so, or not the new chassis, I apologize, the new top cover, okay? These are the hinges here, and actually we're going to, open them up there, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and get this started. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to put back the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi as we just did before. Essentially, and actually this is going to go this way. First we're going to do this. And you know what? Just to make it easier to route, actually no, we'll keep it nice and simple here. Basically, wherever these little notches are, this is where the tape goes, right here. Boom, we got another one there. There we go. There we go. You know what? Let me actually do this. Okay, which honestly, I think we might have a little too much slack. All right, let's go ahead and put this on here. Okay, so actually, fellas, so this right here, so you may have seen me start putting it over here on the wrong way. So this actually goes, if you see here, if you turn it over, there's actually something that says right. So this has to lay flush against here. There we go, right there, just like that. Okay, same thing with this one. This one has an actual thing that says left. You put that underneath the lip here. Boom. And now that we've gotten that in there, now we can go ahead and put these hinges in there. There we go. We're going to start with the left hinge. And I always like to put in all the screws in first before tightening them down, just so that we have the correct alignment in there. So now we got that first hinge in there. Now we do the second hinge on this other side. Where is it? There you are. So then we're just gonna do boom like that. Okay. Okay. Let's go with second screw. There we go. Perfect. So you guys can see, there you go. We've done that. Now comes the screen itself. But before I forget the screen, we actually have one other component that we actually need to put on there, and that is going to be the camera. There we go. Now we just stick it all in there like we had it. Okay. Perfect. And so now we're gonna put in the new screen cover here. Okay. So now that we have our new hinges in place along with our new top cover assembly here, we're gonna go ahead and just basically put the computer back together the way we did it. So hang tight here. Alrighty, so now we got the chassis and everything else back on there. We're gonna go ahead and lay this right here like so. There we go. And actually, we're going to do beautiful. We got, I don't think this is the right size. I need actually, yeah, this should be the right size. That's right here. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in there. Now we're gonna go ahead and route it through the little clips here. There we go. There we go. So now let's go ahead and pop it back together with the battery real quick. So battery is over here. Remember that sneaky ribbon cable from the beginning? Yeah, we gotta be careful not to screw that into there. Let's actually do that right there. Boom. Okay. And we got the back cover here ready to go. Let's go ahead and screw everything back in on the battery. Go, last thing to do, we're gonna pop this in. There we go. There we go. Cool. Perfect. That's in there nicely. Okay. Now we're going to put the back cover on it. Alrighty. So first thing I want to do, which before I try to put all that back, we're gonna make sure this powers on nicely. Okay, let's test this bad boy out here. All right, we got a light on the caps lock. And we got picture on the Dell. Beautiful. All right, there we go. Perfect Dell logo right there. Looks nice. I don't see any damage to the screen. That's perfect. We are good to go. I'm just gonna put on those hinge covers, but this one is complete, guys, and that's how we do a complete cover and hinge replacement for the Dell Inspiron 3511. Appreciate you guys watching, and I will have some more repair videos for you guys here in the near future.